Hello, I'm Marsha Music, and I was commissioned to write this piece for the chamber music ensemble Akropolis. It's a classical music group, and they were asking me to read this in a performance with them doing the music composed by Jeff Scott, who is a professor at Oberlin College now. He is a renowned French hornist. And so this is the poem that I wrote for that, dedicated to an area or three areas of Detroit that are no longer here: the Bottom, the Valley, and Hastings Street. Long ago, but not forgotten, was a wondrous part of town called Black Bottom long before we came. Hastings was the avenue, jazz and gospel and the blues, nightclubs after dark in Paradise Valley. Hastings Street was live and jumping, old Black Bottom's thoroughfare, businesses and enterprise all day. In the Valley Paradise were black and tan clubs for a price, fun and frolic, dance and cabaret. In the city of the car, long before that, very far, was a land of dark and fertile soil. 'Twas a place of swamp and fog, mist and antediluvial bog. This the place of birth of old Black Bottom. Here primordial mist and rain, verdant marsh the land became, honey locust trees a canopy. Water from the river's rush made the flora green and lush, bottom soil black, and so the name. Near the river flowing fast, betwixt here and Canada, native people dwell there at the shore. Furs and trapping near its banks, British call its name the Straits. French, though, said it this way: Le Détroit. O'er the years the people came, building homes of brick and frame, of a style 'twas called Victoriana. Europeans came to dwell, Middle Easterners as well, Jews and Greeks and folks of all humana. Blacks enslaved escaped from south, joining brethren here in chains, making way through railroads underground. Crossing o'er the river wide, rushed to Canada to hide, but most still here in old Black Bottom stayed. A cornucopia of folks from many lands, they brought their hopes. The poor and unemployed here were reborn. Then Henry Ford, he made a call: $5 days, I'll give you all. The populace exploded in Detroit. Black Bottom teemed with immigrants and folks escaping old Jim Crow, a melting cauldron of our humankind. Some prospered and they moved away, but blacks were therein forced to stay through segregation's covenants and laws. So now we had this neighborhood replete with quite a brotherhood of folks who'd cleave together to survive. A culture had therein arisen, black folks who knew just how to listen and learn what it would take them to survive. They looked towards old Hastings Street, the place where folks would meet and greet, and businesses sprung up on all its blocks. An avenue of energy and wondrous musicality, and even my own father's record shop. So Hastings was the kind of place both hip and righteous had their space. The sinners and the sanctified, they lived. Bremercy Franklin hooped and squalled, and working girls walked past nightfall, and House of Diggs received all in the end. Aretha Franklin with her dad, the hold they had was ironclad on gospel fans that listened Sunday nights. New Bethel Church, the epicenter, my dad recorded them, remember? And they all three were legends overnight. John Lee Hooker would come and stop in front of old Joe's record shop, where blues was sung and sold, and they'd get down. And up the street, if you forgot, they hung at Sonny Wilson's spot, the legendary longest bar in town. The Detroit Count, a local bard, walked past Hastings Street like his own backyard, rhyming and a-rapping all the way. And many others made the stop inside my father's record shop to cut a tune or maybe just to play. But not just songs were cultivated. Hastings Street was concentrated, businesses and black entrepreneurs. With restaurants and pharmacies and beauty shops and stores, you see, the hustle and the enterprise endured. Their numbers grew, and not too far they partied in the clubs and bars. The nightlife was exciting, black and tans. The big names came to make some fun, from Lena Horne to Ellington, and Washboard Willie had his one-man band. They had a contest for the name to celebrate the fun and games and enterprise on every street and alley. The time drew near to thus denote a name decided by a vote, and thus came to be called the Paradise Valley. The ghosts of this triumvirate, those three great places gone, but yet must never be forgotten or denied. Our own Black Wall Street here was born despite the animus and scorn. We persevered and met each day with pride. But time doth bring about a change, and those in power commit outrage. The city leaders tore Black Bottom down. And in an effort to delete, a decade later, Hastings Street was buried neath a freeway service drive. The money and the influence of those who own black businesses was too much for those powers that then be. The wealth that builds through generations, businesses, small corporations ceased for all those prosperous families. And then another decade passed, the valley's ending happened last, demolished to make way for sports and games. The nightclubs and the shops now gone, and what remains is but a song and memories of that life back in the day. But we still have the legacy of those three notes of history, of music and of commerce and of home. The spirit of those times, you see, lives on inside us, you and me. Black Bottom, Hastings Street, and Paradise Valley. Thank you very much.